In closely observing the Canadian media approach to covering the visit of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan, it appears that the coverage has strikingly managed to embody the quintessential Canadian ethos of balance and moderation. This balanced approach particularly shines through in the reporting on the Invictus Games, a paragon of Prince Harry's philanthropic legacy. The Invictus Games not only highlight the resilience and spirit of wounded, injured, or sick armed services personnel and their associated veterans, but also underscore Prince Harry's commitment to these causes. This is Majesty Sussex Report. I'm Antonio, and today we'll be looking at how the Canadian media covered the visit of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
The 2025 INVICTUS Games in Vancouver and Whistler. That includes the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, prepare to see the hometown boy.
And they were joined by singer Michael Bublé, who tried his hand at wheelchair curling. Then it was Harry's turn. The Invictus Games, it's a huge project for Harry, which he helped found a decade ago. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are meeting with veterans from the Canadian Armed Forces and their families.
Welcome. In the heartwarming 3-day visit to Vancouver and Whistler, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, captivated hearts and highlighted the enduring spirit of resilience and community. Their journey was not just a tour of picturesque locales, but a profound gesture of support for the remarkable participants training for the Invictus Games 2025. With each interaction, the Duke and Duchess underscored the essence of courage, determination, and the indomitable spirit of the human will to overcome adversity.
On the ground there in Vancouver, it's always exciting when Harry and Meghan are visiting. So what's happening today as we mark the 12-month countdown?
Got another chance to see the Prince try his hand at these adaptive sports ahead of the Invictus Winter Games a year from now. Today, as you mentioned, it was that wheelchair curling. I gotta say, you know, the rock didn't get very far when Prince Harry put it down the ice, but he had the noises down pat. I think he got some hurry hard cheering lessons from his buddy Michael Bublé there as they tried out this sport. Just one of the sports the Prince has tried out. Of course, we saw him go down the skeleton track yesterday. A couple days ago, he was trying out the sit ski on Whistler Mountain. This is to raise attention for the Invictus Games, which of course is an event that Harry founded 10 years ago. Prince Harry himself is a veteran. He spent 10 years in the British Armed Forces, and today we got a chance to hear him talk about the importance of the Games here in Vancouver and to thank the organizers and to speak directly to the athletes.
Canadian media, known for its nuance and respectful journalism, struck a perfect balance in covering the royal visit. The focus was firmly on the significance of the Invictus Games and Prince Harry's visionary role as the founder of this transformative movement. Canadian outlets adeptly highlighted how the Games have become a global symbol of hope and recovery for wounded, injured, or sick armed service personnel and veterans. The narrative was rich with stories of inspiration, personal triumphs, and the powerful impact of sports and community in healing and rehabilitation. However, the narrative tends to shift slightly when discussions veer towards the broader royal context, diverging from this balanced approach into something that we're more used to that the UK media does. This shift often mirrors the general discourse surrounding the royals, frequently influenced by narratives crafted by royal commentators or specialists or secret palace informants. For instance, debates surrounding the Sussexes' use of their titles and public image often echo the sentiments of these royal experts. Critics have pointed out that the Sussex engagement in various projects like doing interviews or the docuseries, or even Harry's book, Spare, questioning the use of their royal titles in these contexts. Yet, it's crucial to note that the Sussexes have conscientiously navigated these waters, refraining from using the HRH titles in commercial endeavors, thereby adhering to the established protocol and keeping their agreement with the late Queen. The coverage by Canadian media, while generally balanced, does reveal an undercurrent of reliance on traditional source of royal reporting, primarily emanating from the UK. This reliance can advertently lead to the perpetration of a singular narrative, especially if these sources harbor a bias or negative stance towards Prince Harry and Meghan. It's a reflection of the broader challenge faced by media in providing nuance and comprehensive coverage, especially when such coverage intersects with globally recognized figures whose lives are subject to intense public scrutiny.
Valentine's Day appearance high above Metro Vancouver as the countdown for the Invictus Games kicks off. The story from our new BC Bureau Chief, Andrew Johnson.
A prince getting a few pointers from the pros. After he quipped, "What could possibly go wrong?" Harry's first run down the hill on adaptive skis earns the applause of Invictus Games competitors and his wife. The Duke of Sussex isn't the only one at Whistler today trying this for the first time. He's joined by wounded warriors from about 20 countries, learning winter adaptive sports on the spot.
One of the things that's great about Invictus is that we don't choose our athletes necessarily by whether or not they'll win gold, but how much they'll benefit from the therapy.
People like Rosa Sanchez Bermudez from Colombia, who was paralyzed by a gunshot wound serving her country.
I don't feel my legs, but here, just having the arms, I feel that I can walk again.
Harry and Meghan are here to promote the Games coming to BC in 2025, the first in Canada since Toronto hosted in 2017, and the first to involve winter pursuits like skiing, skeleton, and wheelchair curling.
Meghan and Harry bring a certain celebrity to this. I'd want to say that these games wouldn't exist and they wouldn't be as successful as they are.
But this smiling appearance comes days after the prince rushed back to London from California to visit his father, following the king's cancer diagnosis. And the couple is now facing new scrutiny this week after their launch of a new website and Meghan landing a podcast deal. Up here on the mountain today, those issues are taking a back seat to learning and rediscovering what's been lost.
I'm feeling that I'm like in another world, and right now I'm feeling that I'm flying.
Harry and Meghan are back at Whistler Blackcomb tomorrow before an Invictus event Friday in Vancouver at a curling rink. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Whistler.
In covering the recent visit of Prince Harry and Meghan to Vancouver and Whistler, Canadian media showcased a commendable balance and focused on the core purpose of the visit. News outlets and programs remained largely centered on the significance of the Invictus Games, highlighting its role in supporting and celebrating the resilience of wounded, injured, or sick armed services personnel and veterans. This approach provided audiences with insightful perspectives on the event's impact, its contributions to veteran welfare, and the royal couple's involvement in fostering these initiatives. Contrastingly, entertainment and chat shows such as The Social, similar to Loose Women or The View, and This Morning, similar to any of the morning shows in the UK, ventured into territories more aligned with the narratives propagated by UK tabloid. These segments, while still covering the visit, occasionally echoed the sensationalist and scrutinizing tone characterized by the UK media landscape concerning Prince Harry and Meghan. This divergence in coverage underscores the multifaceted nature of media consumption today, where different formats cater to a variety of audience interests and preferences, ranging from those seeking in-depth analysis to others drawn towards more sensational aspect of public figures' lives. I would say that overall, the Canadian media approach to Prince Harry and Meghan's visit for the Invictus Games 2025 underscores a broader commitment to prioritizing substantive issues and events over personal scrutiny. However, the presence of more tabloid-like commentary in some segments highlights the ongoing challenge of balancing public interest with respectful and meaningful coverage. It reflects a media ecosystem striving to serve diverse audience while navigating the complexity of contemporary celebrity culture.
It's not as easy to just say that the royal family aren't racist. He's not lying.
No,
you can't just say he's a liar.
He and his wife accused the royal family of being racist. That was a lie.
Just so fed up of Piers Morgan and the British press constantly saying, oh, Harry lied and said this, and Meghan said that, and it's destroyed the royal family. Like the last time I checked, they were still standing, well, some of them, and they've still got quite a lot of money, and they still have quite a lot of privilege and influence on British life. So I actually think they're completely fine. Okay, sorry, they're like slightly offended. Well, I mean, imagine how offended you'd be if all of your jewels were stolen. You know, if your land had been stolen. In terms of offense, I don't really feel like they've got a leg to stand on. Like, who cares? Like, it's fine. And look, I love the royal family. It's absolutely okay to love the royal family and acknowledge that they have a history of racism. I honestly just think it's perplexing that people want to deny that. It doesn't make any sense to me. And so that's why I will always stand for Meghan and Harry for telling the truth. I mean, they haven't done anything wrong. They just told the truth. And it's so boring hearing the British media go on and on about how William hates Harry. Like, who cares? Who gives a shit? I don't care whether they hate each other. They don't. I'm sure they absolutely do not hate each other. But either way, why are we talking about this? Like, leave them alone. King Charles is not very well, so leave him alone and stop making this about Harry. It's so boring. Anyway, that's all I have to say. But love you all. Thanks so much for your kind messages. I think someone wants to send me flowers.
James, thank you very much for that. And look, James is even becoming famous. People want to send him flowers. Isn't that great? That's fantastic. I think I saw they were doing these kind of pop-up interviews. I think it was in London, and they were, most of the people that they stopped looks like, you know, the younger set, and almost all of them were like, no, we love Harry and Meghan. And I remember the one girl, she said, when they said, should they come back? And she's like, no, they shouldn't. She said, because, you know, it would be great, like, we love them, but the press here doesn't treat them right. And you know, they have their own lives now and so on. But a lot of people that they were interviewing, or they were doing this pop-up in stuff on the street, they were like, no, we know what's going on. We like Harry and Meghan. And it was quite reassured. I absolutely enjoyed watching James make that person kind of take a pause. And that was on the same show where he went on to say that he wanted to, you know, tear these, whatever. I'm not going to repeat it. He's just disgusting. Anyways, this is the episode for today. And I would say, in a quick kind of summary, like, watching the Canadian newscast and how they approached and how they reported on this visit and Invictus Games made me happy. It made me proud. I mean, there were a couple of instances where kind of like, you know, but, you know, you have to give people sometimes a little bit of leeway also. But the big disappointment for me was the chat shows, sort of like the, here in Canada we have The Social, and similar to The View or Loose Women, and some of the morning shows. So there was just they kind of went into that stereotypical tabloidish, and just said things and that they weren't informed about, or just kind of repeated what tabloid media repeats and says. So that was the disappointing part. Well, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. If you know someone that would enjoy this podcast or this channel, share. Do tell them that we're here, and like. So press that thumbs button or figurine or whatever, so that the system, the algorithm, the AI can know that there's people watching, there's people listening, there's people who are enjoying this content. I thank you so very much to my subscribers, people who've been here from the very beginning, and new joiners that continue to join this little community. Thank you so very much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your comments. I absolutely love them, appreciate them, and thank you.
Oh, I've heard every tale, every love song out there about the birds and the bees. Oh, could it happen to someone like me? All the stories, all the books say it happens, you don't have to look. So I'm waiting for the day when love comes my way. In my dreams, in my sleep, I have him and he has me. We could walk down from the sea always come faithfully. When love comes my way, I live in color, no more gray. When love comes my way, when